Mr. Morton,
Present.
Mr. Stuchel,
Present.
Mr. Edwards,
Present.
Ms. Hausfeld,
Here.
Mr. Schulmeyer,
Present.
Mr. Culbertson,
Present.
Mr. Estes.
Present.
Let the record show that all 7 members are present. Members of council, what is your pleasure on the approval of the written minutes of the April 24th council meeting?
Mr. President,
Mr. Schultmeyer.
I will make a motion that we approve the written minutes.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Schultmeyer, second by Mr. Estep to approve the written minutes of the April 24th council meeting. Are there any remarks? Not all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So ordered. Next on the agenda is to discuss the 911 resolution. Everyone should have a copy of that, and I don't know if, is that you, Bruno? I forget who sent it. Who? Mike Seamus sent it. All right, so I'm hoping that everyone had a chance to look it over. Does anyone have any questions or anything on it? If not, could I get a motion to place resolution, what will be resolution number 7, 2025 on the table?
Mr. President,
Mr. Schultmeyer.
I'll make a motion to place resolution number 7, 2025 on the table.
I'll second that, Mr. President.
Motion by Mr. Schultmeyer, seconded by Ms. Hausfeld to place resolution number 7 on the table. Are there any remarks? Not all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. We also have a resolution for the Metro Infrastructure Fund. Mayor, are you going to cover that, or should I?
So we are, yes, so we're making application for another SORTA grant. Another SORTA grant for this upcoming season would be voted on, I believe, in September. So what we're trying to do is, we actually last time in the grant application, actually only submitted with a 20% match. So we're actually trying to increase our probability by doing a 50% match. But basically, it would include the source. What would happen, we would be paying for the short portion of Washington to be repaved, and then Tower Avenue, basically from McClelland to Mitchell. So sorry, I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong here. So Tower Avenue is desperately in need. I mean, it's basically falling apart. So we wanted to try to, again, do this. The funds would not be actually made available to us until 26. It would be a 2026 project, but this is similar resolution, just to basically state that, our intent to make the application, and it is necessary for us to actually complete the application process. So we've done this before. So, but it's, basically being a roughly, $1.3 million plus project. So again, we definitely want to make whatever applications we can for, to have funding.
Any questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to place the resolution on the table, which will be resolution number 8, 2025.
Mr. President,
Mr. Schultmeyer.
I'll make a motion to place resolution number 8, 2025 on the table.
I'll second that, Mr. President.
Motion by Mr. Schultmeyer, seconded by Ms. Hausfeld to place resolution number 8 on the table. Are there any remarks? Not all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So ordered. We'll move to reports of administrative officials. Mayor Jonathan Stuchel.
Thank you, Mr. President. So as you all have probably seen on the news and heard, the former St. Bernard Soap Company manufacturing facility is now going to be occupied by a new company, U.S. Medical Glove Company, headquartered in Harvard, Illinois. I actually was on a Teams meeting with them this week, and very great news as far as number of employees, but they estimate bringing 150 to 200 jobs to that facility. They're hoping to have their production up and running, and believe it or not, within 30 to 45 days. As far as they basically manufacture their own production lines and build them, so they can ship the lines here, get them set up, and start running quickly. So this is very optimistic. I'm thrilled that this was able to work out. So again, I'll have more information to come as far as an official press release and all. But again, it was something that came up fast, and it worked out that they chose St. Bernard, and we're thrilled. So anyhow, I'll keep you all posted on that. Something else I wanted to bring up, as you're all aware, the structure at 4416 Greenlee Avenue, as you're aware, remember the fact that the home actually had burnt. We demolished it, so we went through the process of actually purchasing the assignment on the tax lien. When that happened, we then were able to also at the same time get our lien and the lien that we purchased, basically, consolidated. It went in the full foreclosure process under sheriff's sale. So basically, the property itself did not sell, so it's now back, it actually was deeded to the village through a sheriff's deed. And the opening bid originally, part of the reason it didn't sell was $67,390.77, because that's basically what we have in it, and didn't include exactly legal fees. So we have interested parties in the property itself. People that live in the neighborhood, some next door, other people from outside. So basically what I'm asking from council is what your wishes would be as far as whether or not the village wants to offer the property. The village offering the property, it would have to be put out to bid, because again, you cannot sell a municipal asset without doing so. Or whether or not you want to look at the idea of turning it over to the CIC to put it through process. Either way, it's not up to me, but basically we have people making inquiries, and I really don't want to let this property just sit idle, because the village itself is going to be paying, taxes as far as property taxes. It's not for public use. So, whether or not you want to go the route of, again, starting a process to allow it to go out to bid, or whether you want to pursue the idea of transferring it to the CIC. We have interested parties, and I think it would be a good idea to at least to have the discussion as to what you might want to do. But it would be up to council as to how it would be, the property would be disposed of. So I'm opening that up.
Mr. President?
Mr. Morton?
I'm going to talk from back here. What would be the advantages of turning the property over to the CIC, do you think, versus putting it out to bid and selling it?
So basically, it's two different processes. One, if putting it out to bid, ultimately right off the bat would be probably the quicker way of and the word disposing of shouldn't be taken what I mean. Okay, so yes. So basically, yes, selling the property would be the quickest route. You would not be able to vet I guess the bidder itself like you would in the process if it was turned over to the CIC. And I'm not using that as trying to say that that's what we should do, but basically the CIC would have a process where you would fully vet the applicant, asking for detailed plans. When I say that being, you were talking, potential renderings, what they plan to build, what they plan to use the property for. If you're bidding, if we're doing the bidding process, I should say, if you're making it available immediately, whether or not you would have the ability to vet the candidates the same way. But again, the CIC's process itself, it's going to take it would take a little bit of time if you were to transfer it to the CIC, and then the CIC would have to make it available. The CIC has enough going on right this moment, to be honest with you. That taking on that process, I'm not saying we could, but, the fact if council as a whole decides that the best way to dispose of the property or sell the property right now and make an offering would be, again, allow it to go out to bid and go that route. But it does belong to the village now. It's actually legitimately ours.
Mr. President?
Mr. Morton?
So given that, I guess my initial thoughts are, if the CIC is already at capacity with their properties, then the liability we have to pay property taxes on this property in the meantime isn't necessarily worth it. So I would lean towards putting it up to bid and selling it that way, because the difference in vetting processes doesn't seem like a large enough gap for me to warrant continually paying property taxes on it.
So the one point that I would, okay, Mr. President, if I can, oh, sorry. So the one point that I would make, so the whole idea is that right now, and there are people that are interested, so you will have bidders. I mean, I know that. As far as on the opposite side, so from the CIC, it would be a much lengthier process because asking for plans and so forth. So in this case, there isn't anything that basically would state that you're putting conditions on it that you're going to build or whatever. I mean, you're basically selling the land, and that's the only way. But again, it does free the village from, the future liability of paying what is going to be owed soon, as far as with respect to property taxes.
So if I'm not mistaken, that area is zoned R1, correct? So, I mean, you have that, they can't build anything more than a two-family on that. So you've kind of got that as a kind of a net to follow on.
And, Mr. President, one of the things I would point out is that no matter how you look at this, we would never, in either scenario, recover what was invested in. So we took the action that was needed. It took longer than what we wanted because there was a bit of liability involved in being able to locate the property owner. But the point being is that the actual 67,000 plus that was invested was done for the safety of the community itself to get a liability demolished. It was just unfortunate the way that it all kind of accumulated and did get to the point of it being, us having to buy out at 50% what they paid for the tax lien, but the company that purchased the tax lien also purchased it not knowing that they bought a home that had a massive fire, nor did they know that the home had demo orders on it. So it then got us a 50% discount to buy the assignment on the lien. So, I mean, we did, I think, what was right to keep that area safe, and if council wants to go the route of going, for bid, I think good idea.
Mr. President,
Ms. Prickly?
if the CIC had it, would they be able to make it where it has to be residential, or not residential, one family, owner occupied? Or, that would be my only seeing advantage, instead of somebody building a rental home. Because I always thought our goal was to have more residential, one-family housing. And I'm just wondering, if that, to me, that would be the only one of the advantages to the CIC.
Mr.
Mayor.
President, the CIC would be able, so the CIC, basically, if they went through the process, you would basically have conditions for the purchase of the property. I mean, that's,
Mr. President?
Mr. Schulmeyer?
Jonathan, is it true, I think it's true, that if we were to give it over to the CIC, they actually inherit the tax liability immediately, right?
yes, it becomes our burden.
Yeah, so it's actually,
I mean,
for the village, it's quicker to get it off our books, to give it to the CIC. And then respectfully, I also feel like the CIC has a much greater ability to making sure that what is built there is appropriate. So I would actually recommend we go the other way and give it over to the CIC. I understand your point on the tax, though.
Anyone else?
Mr. President,
Mr. Edwards?
my question would be, if we gave it to the CIC, I know we're not gonna recuperate all the 57,000, but would we get anything back, or would we just be giving it to the CIC?
Mr. President.
Mayor?
Good question. So that would be up to council to decide. So, I mean, if it was basically deeded or over to the CIC, it would be, I guess there would be conditions on the front end as to what would be expected and whether it would be returned to council. But I would say that since I'm wearing more than one hat, I think it would, if you were to say, okay, fine, you would turn it over to the CIC, and then knowing that most likely, just going to throw out a random number, so that, say the lot sells for $25,000, and then you want the $25,000 after we've assumed the tax liability. so whatever, all I'm getting at is that you all, as council members, would have to make the decision as to what the conditions would be. I guess I would have to go back and look to see if the CIC could tell council, sorry, we're not interested, but I don't, again, you would have to decide whether you wanted a 50-50 split or whatever. I don't know. It's up to.
I can almost hear Mr. Taberky yelling at his TV right now.
Actually, Mr. President, I thought he was here. No,
Mr. President,
Ms. Brickway.
the one thing that I don't think most of council understands or realizes, we're one of the very few CICs that is self-sufficient. The CIC is supposed to be arm of the village to make the village grow. I'm not saying you need to keep giving them money, but in the majority, I would say probably over 95% of communities, the CIC gets their money from the city. It's not supposed to support itself. And I think because many, many years ago, under different leadership, there were a lot of issues with it. But I do find, I think, and I've said this personally in different CIC meetings, that the CIC needs to ask the village for some money if we're gonna keep trying to make this community better, instead of just saying, no, we're gonna live within our means. So I would not wanna see that. If they're gonna take, if the CIC is gonna take, if it does get handed to the CIC, and they're gonna pay the tax liability, I think it should be like that, just a wash. But I personally think now that the CIC is set up and doing such a great job and is very, honest is not the word, but is very open, it's on TV, it's just a whole different manner than it was back in the early 2000s. I mean, we'll just say what it is. That I think the city could prosper more if they would actually invest more into the CIC and gave them more projects to work on, but would need to actually give some financial support. That's just my opinion, but I think a lot more could be done to improve the city if we did that. So maybe a start is to not ask to recoup this little bit of money is a start. And that's just my opinion.
Okay. So we've heard both sides, so I guess at this time does anyone care to make a motion to move it to the CIC or to sell it? That's kind of the point, sounds like we're at, so.
Mr. President,
Mr. Schultz.
I don't know if I can just ask this, how does the rest of council feel about the money either coming back or not?
Mr. President,
Mr. Morton.
I agree with Peggy's points and Chris's points, especially about limiting our tax liability up front. I also do find it very, very appealing that the CIC has the ability to ensure that it's an owner-occupied property too, if I'm hearing that correctly. I think those points make it worth it. So now hearing that side, I would be in support of transferring the property over to the CIC. If that's not, so then unless anyone else has any other comments to say, I would like to make a motion to transfer the property to the CIC.
I'll second it.
All right, a motion by Mr. Morton, seconded by Mr. Culbertson to transfer 4416 Greenlee Avenue property to the CIC. Are there any other remarks? Not all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So ordered, and I'm assuming we will need I don't know if it's a resolution or ordinance. I would assume an ordinance. So I'll email Ms. Van Valkenburg and let her know. Anything else then, Mayor?
Yes, actually, I had just a couple
Okay.
other things. As far as Mitchell Avenue, as you were aware, and the funds have already been appropriated, but basically what we're doing right now is a cooperative effort with the city of Cincinnati to make speed calming or traffic calming efforts there near the crosswalk to Brom Brockovich Stadium. As you're aware right now, there was another accident that took out one of the pedestrian control devices. But we've been working with the city of Cincinnati for well over a year on this project, and they did all the engineering basically for speed cushions. But the only way that the engineering came back as far as to slow people down were to put cushions similar to what was done on Vine Street. So in either direction. So basically, we would be paying for our half, which again, we appropriated the funds. But what I don't have for tonight, and I've been working with an attorney through the city asking for what we needed for the contract, and they're very slow. They promise that they'll have it for us by our council meeting, but for us to be able to pay for our portion, again, the $61,715, again, they need to provide us with the necessary language for the contract, and that will be forthcoming. So basically, I'm asking for an ordinance that would be prepared for the next council meeting so that we can go ahead and make that contribution, because this is going to be a summer construction project. So I'm asking for an ordinance that I can't provide you with the exact language for the contract, but it will be here.
Mr. President,
Mr. Schulmeyer.
I'll make a motion that we put an ordinance on the table reflecting Jonathan's statement.
So for for the cooperative efforts for the traffic calming process for the Mitchell Avenue crosswalk area, so.
I'll second that, Mr. President.
Motion by Mr. Schulmeyer, seconded by Ms. Hausfeld, to place an ordinance on the table for our portion, we'll call it the Mitchell Avenue speed cushions. Any other remarks? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So ordered. All right.
Two more things,
You're
Mr.
good.
President, sorry. As you all, of course, have seen, it was kind of an exciting process to see the fencing go up around the shopping center in 4901 Vine Street. So they've started the process. The building probably won't come down. And Chris, I need to update you on something. Duke showed up today and left, so they probably won't be back to shut the power off until Tuesday. But so you're not going to see any action Monday, most likely, but we'll find out for sure. They wanted to be courteous to the other adjoining businesses during normal business hours because they would lose power while that was happening, separating that transformer. So anyhow, exciting process. So you'll see hopefully the albatross on Vine gone soon. So at least that's starting. And then I also want to make sure that to invite everyone to our Memorial Day ceremony on Memorial Day at 10 a.m. in the lower lot at City Hall. We will also, after we honor our veterans that have graciously given their all, we will be offering donuts, coffee, and orange juice afterwards for anyone that would like to stay. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Auditor, Ms. Brookway.
Thank you, Mr. President. The first thing I have on the agenda is the resolution number 6, 2025. That's putting the tax levy on the November ballot. We can discuss it if you want. I think we've discussed it a lot already, so if you're okay, I would just like to ask for a motion to put this on the ballot, and this is the first resolution of 2. This goes to Hamilton County for them to certify, and then there'll be another resolution that I will bring over to the Board of Elections to have it on the November election.
Mr. President,
Mr. Morton.
I move to place resolution number 6 on the table for the next council meeting.
I'll second that.
Motion by Mr. Morton, second by Mr. Stuchel, to place resolution number 6 on the table. Are there any remarks? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So ordered.
Secondly, I'm asking for an appropriation ordinance to be on the table. You do not have a copy of one yet because I'm waiting for some final numbers, but I can tell you what I have so far. The state is now requiring a lot more reports that I have to prepare, and they're so kind that they're gonna make us pay them to review the reports that I'm preparing, so I need another $5,000 for our audit line item, because we're gonna have additional audit fees from our state auditor to review their new required reports. So that would be 2C2 Bureau of Inspection. The other one is for capital improvements. It's the second payment on the fire truck, which we decided to use this investments for, but we did not appropriate the money yet. That's for $542,910. The third one is for the Greenlee Street project. I'm waiting to hear from them because there seems to be some confusion. We owe the $491,886 for the street, but there's gonna be, I think it's about $1.2 million in waterworks being done. And I'm trying to decipher, sometimes they bill directly and the money, we don't have to deal with it, and other times I will have to pay the road crew to do the waterworks, and then the city of Cincinnati pays us back. So the money would have to be appropriated. I don't have that final answer yet. So once I get that, this could be the 491, or it could have another 1.2 million added to it, but we will get that money back. So I'm just waiting to find that out. I have not heard back yet, but as soon as I do, I will let you know, and then I can finalize this ordinance. Are there any questions?
Mr. President? Would that be ordinance number 7?
I got 15,
Oh.
but, yeah.
Make a motion, we place ordinance number 15 on the table.
Seconded.
Motion by Mr. Schultmeyer, seconded by Mr. Morton to place the, basically, it's additional appropriation ordinance and a transfer on the table. Are there any remarks? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So ordered. Anything else? That's it. Thank you. Ms. Van Valkenburg said that she wouldn't be here. Any word on, so she has the resolution, obviously, for Energy Alliance. I guess I'll entertain a motion that we put that on the table for the next council meeting.
Mr. President,
Mr. Morton?
I move to put resolution number 5 on the table for the next council meeting.
Motion by Mr. Morton, second by Mr. Schultmeyer to place resolution number 5 on the table for the next meeting. Are there any remarks? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So ordered. We'll move to treasurer, Ms. Derenkamp.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have our year-to-date figures as of April 30th, 2025. Our expenses were $4,997,228.32, with revenues of $5,318,986.15. And that would conclude my report.
Thank you. Any report from Mr. Williams? Nothing. Tax Administrator, Ms. Hill.
Thank you, Mr. President. So I have the April 2025 monthly receipts. Tax collections for April were $1,164,470. April of 2025 is down 7.51%, or $94,548 from April of 2024. The refunds for April were $149,716. Delinquent tax collected with capital recovery was $359, and delinquent tax collected with the Ohio Attorney General's office was $82,595. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. We'll move to reports to standing committees. Finance, Mr. Morton.
Thank you, Mr. President. The next Finance Committee meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, May 21st at 6 p.m. in the lower level of City Hall. We will be discussing the LISC home repair program and vacation payout policies. I want to say thank you to our law director for reviewing the contract with Energy Alliances. I am excited to approve this resolution number 5 at the next council meeting, which authorizes the mayor to sign an agreement with Energy Alliances so that we can begin the very important process of educating our community on the benefits of energy aggregation. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Service, Mr. Gus Stuchel.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Service Department would like to share the following updates and events with residents. Next Wednesday, May 14th, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., the Service Department at 5230 Vine Street will host a hazardous waste collection day in partnership with Hamilton County Resource. Latex-based paint will not be accepted. Items that will be accepted include pesticides, herbicides, fertilizers, solvents, thinners, lead paint, oil-based paints and stains, fluorescent tubes, cleaners, pool chemicals, driveway sealers, mercury, thermostats, oxygen and refrigerant cylinders and tanks, and adhesive foam cylinders. After dropping off your hazardous waste, please consider providing your email to the staff from Hamilton County Resource to complete a short survey. On Saturday, May 17th, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., there will be a latex paint and clothing drive held at the Service Department, again located at 5230 Vine Street. Donations will go to support the work of Matthew 25 Ministries, and we encourage all residents to participate. Tomorrow, Tuesday, May 13th, please keep an eye out for Roger Bacon students participating in their Go Local Day. Students will be volunteering throughout the village, assisting with park cleanup and helping residents at their homes where extra support is needed. We thank them for giving back to our community. All pool repairs are expected to be completed in the next few days, and everything is on track for the pool to open at the end of the month. The planters along Vine Street have been filled with fresh flowers to help beautify our main corridor just in time for spring. And lastly, as another reminder, we invite you to join us for Shred Day at the Safety Center at 4200 Vine Street on Saturday, May 24th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Please enter the Safety Center parking lot from Vine Street, follow the signs through the lot to reach the shredding truck, and then exit onto Mitchell Avenue from the back of the building. This is a free and convenient way to securely dispose of old documents during your spring cleaning. We look forward to seeing you there. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Public Improvements, Mr. Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. President. There was no need for a Public Improvement Committee meeting, but I would like to comment on the overwhelming number of yards in our village that are so well maintained. So much of the focus has been on the small percentage of lawns that are unkept. We sometimes forget to appreciate the yards that are not only well-kept, but beautiful. Thank you for your extra effort. It is greatly appreciated, not only by the council, but also by your neighbors. My yard's a work in progress, so please be patient. I again want to ask our village residents to attend our Memorial Day program honoring those who gave their lives for their country. So important, these heroes, to be honored and remembered. I believe honoring our own, those that walk the same streets as we do today, give our village a sense of pride and closeness that larger communities might not possess. Thank you, Mr. President. This concludes my report.
Thank you. Safety, Ms. Housefeld.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just wanted to thank everybody that showed up at the safety meeting this past Tuesday, May 6th. We had a few residents that showed up. Wanted to thank them for coming and putting in their input. We discussed issues as far as parking issues, parking on the verge or parking on the streets, on the sidewalks. Just to let the residents know, if you do park on the sidewalks, you will be ticketed. We also talked about waste and waste removal as far as putting your trash cans out or the waste out. You can put that out at 4 p.m. the night before your pickup, no later than 7:30 a.m. the day of your pickup. All containers must be taken in from the curb no later than 8 p.m. the day of your pickup. There are consequences if you don't follow the rules. Violations, first violation will be a warning, second violation will be a $50 ticket, third violation will be a $100 ticket, and fourth violation will be a $150 ticket. We also discussed in length speed enforcements. We also discussed the needs to display addresses on your homes and apartment. Peggy did find something, we're not quite sure. It's either Ohio Revised Code or St. Bernard, and I did ask Valerie to check into it, but wherever it is, it's clearly, the number has to be clearly visible from the street. Placement near walkways, entrance, doorway, gate, fence, tree. The one thing that is, I don't know that people realize this, but it's very important so that especially the police and fire departments, if there's an emergencies, they know exactly which house they're going to or where they need to go. So just to let the residents know that it is in there, and we have to make sure that we have those on our homes or apartments. And that concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you. And I'd like to thank the mayor in the newsletter this month. He pretty much spells out the fines for the leaving your cans and what have you out. So, laws, contracts, and claims, Mr. Schultmeyer.
No report, Mr. President.
Thank you. Marketing, Mr. Colbert.
Thanks, Mr. President. Sports signups are still being accepted at City Hall Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. This includes Stingray Swim Team, summer swim lessons, fall safe soccer, and lollipop soccer. On Saturday, May 17th and on Saturday, May 31st, summer and fall signups will be at the Aquatic Center from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. The Outdoor Aquatic Center will open for the season on May 24th for Memorial Day weekend, and then daily starting on May 31st. The pool will be open 7 days a week, with the operating hours being 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Season passes are as follows. An adult season pass, which is 18 and older, is $50. A youth pass, ages 10 to 17, is $30. A child pass, ages 3 to 9, is $15. Children under 3 are free with a paying adult. A pavilion-only pass is $15. The next St. Bernard Ludlow Grove Historical Society meeting is on Monday, May 19th at 7 p.m. The program is titled Art and Artist on Cincinnati Union Terminal. Lastly, don't forget about the upcoming concert in the pavilion. It takes place on Saturday, May 17th at 7 p.m. Music will be provided by Slow Train. Please feel free to bring your chair and a cooler of your favorite beverages. The village will be providing the food. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Business and industry, Mr. Estep.
No report, Mr. President.
Thank you. At this time, is there anyone in the audience wishing to address council this evening? All right, if not, we look like we have a busy council meeting in 2 weeks. Show 4 resolutions and 3 ordinances. Resolution for the energy alliances, resolution for the tax levy, resolution for the Hamilton County 911 plan, resolution for the Metro Transit Infrastructure Fund applications, and then an ordinance to transfer 4416, which I will get with the law director, 4416 Greenlee Avenue, ordinance for Mitchell Avenue project, and ordinance for additional appropriation and transfer. Yep, there we go. All right, the next council meeting will be Thursday, May 22nd at 7 p.m. This time I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. President,
Mr. Culbertson.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second that, Mr. President.
Motion by Mr. Culbertson, second by Ms. Hausfeld to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.